Hello, and welcome to Resiliency.Coach podcast. I want to thank those who have already participated and been interviewed by me and will be on my podcast today as well as into the future. Want to thank them for being vulnerable and willing to share their real, authentic, and sometimes raw stories in the hope that it will give you hope in your struggle. That's the purpose of Resiliency.Coach, is to give you resources and people that have already struggled with the struggle that you may be going through right now. It's to help you lighten your burden and load. Now, you'll hear from several people and their definition of what they feel is resiliency. Thank you again to those who have participated, as well as to the listeners.
It's not how many times you get knocked down in life, it's how many times you get back up. Life's gonna knock you down, and anybody who thinks that it isn't is foolish. So all you can do is go from here, right here, and get on with your life and keep getting up. That's resiliency.
Resiliency to me is the mindset or the mental ability to recover quickly from, depression or anxiety or illnesses or things that are holding you down, so that you can just bounce back.
To me, resilience is when things don't work out the way that you plan. You realize that life is not always going to be perfect, but what you need to do is pick yourself back up and keep trying your best, because the only way to be happy is to keep pushing forward despite the fact things did not work out the way you wanted. You're resilient to all the hard things in life by getting back up and keep trying.
For me, resiliency is courage. It's being brave enough to literally stand up for yourself, or keep getting up. I can liken it to a baby learning to walk. Can you imagine how many times a baby gets up and falls down? And it hurts. Never in the history of the human race has a baby got up, fallen down, and thought, nah, this walking lark isn't for me. That's resilience. Is just keep going, believing in yourself, and just keep going until you get to where you want to be.
Bouncing back and being able to live life with a smile, even when you've gone through so much, is to be able to know that you are who you are and God made you special. So when you are resilient, you don't hold what others have told you about yourself. You see who you are and you push forward and you give the best every day, regardless of what your past might have affected you to do.
The ability to tune everything out. That was the one way for me to get away from it all. That was my escape. That's what resiliency means to me, is, resistance, escape.
I relate resiliency to flexibility, being able to bounce back to your ground, your self-confidence, your base. That's resiliency to me.
For me, resiliency has two parts. The first part is the continual building of yourself. So how do I improve? How do I make myself better? And understanding that it's incremental. You don't have to swallow the elephant. The second part is, if you fall down, it's a blip. You pop back up, you do the things that you know to do, and you keep moving forward. You don't dwell on that negative moment, and you keep moving forward.
Resiliency to me means to bounce back. No matter how difficult things are in life, realizing that what the difficulty is right now won't last, and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and we just have to be patient and persevere and be flexible in the learning that we have the opportunity to have. But to be able to come back. Yes, it's okay to feel broken, even though nobody is broken. It's okay to take a rest. It's okay to cry. It's okay to sleep. It's okay to have any emotion, but not to stay in the negative emotion, but to come back out of it a better, more learned, experienced person.
I think resiliency is when you take a problem or a heartache or a trial that you have experienced, and you've been able to find the lessons, you've been able to apply them to your life in a very personal way and rise above it more joyful, becoming better than you are, and a better version of yourself than you were before that you experienced it.
In my opinion, resiliency is the ability to experience something that is a little bit difficult for you, kind of sets you back. Maybe it's the stress of having a really busy morning, and maybe it's something bigger like losing a loved one or losing your hair. And it's the ability to be able to assimilate, experience that, and then find the wisdom and the strength from it to pick yourself back up and move forward with maybe a little bit more power than you would felt before, or maybe a little bit more wisdom or hope or love or gratitude than you have felt before. And just knowing that life is not something that you're supposed to look to get like an A+ on. It's not something that we want to achieve. It's something that we just go living, and each time we live, we get a little bit wiser, we get a little bit better at kind of mastering the system of life.
For me, resiliency is getting back up. It's no matter what happens in life, keep moving forward. Taking, Anna in Frozen says it best. It's the next right thing. It's we can do hard things. We can get back up no matter how many times. It took Edison 99 times to get a light bulb. It was the 100th time that he finally got the light bulb. And look how often we use light bulbs. If he would have stopped at 56, we wouldn't have light like we do right now. So just keep moving forward. And resiliency is the power to keep moving forward, to keep doing whatever the next step is, to keep you in alignment with who you want to be.
Picking yourself up and moving on time after time, and recognizing that life is a challenge for you and for me and for all of us. And again, I'm always going to circle it back to where I always go, which is the authenticity and the not worrying about what other people think so much, because often it's those things that really bring us down. It's, oh, I'm not living the way I think I should live, and so now I feel bad. Or, I went through this hard thing and therefore I'm less of a person or whatever. And when you can shed that and say, no, I am good and I'm valuable and I'm worthy, I don't need others' approval in order to feel that way, then you've got resiliency and you can continue on in the face of hardship.